Dear students, welcome to my classroom. While learning mathematics, we have gone through so many branches of mathematics like algebra, plane geometry, coordinate geometry, and trigonometry, like that. Like all these, there is an important branch of mathematics, and that is statistics. Statistics is a branch of mathematics dealing with the collection, analysis, interpretation, and presentation of masses of numerical data. So let us start with the topics learned in the earlier classes like grouped data, ungrouped data, and the measures of central tendencies like mean, median, mode. After that, we are going to discuss the important statistical concepts, mode, mean, median, and methods to find the mean, median, and mode, and also the relation between them. So let us start with central tendency. What is central tendency? It is a measure that tells us where the middle of a bunch of data lies. It may also be called a center or location of the given data. And now, ungrouped data. Ungrouped data is in its original or raw form. That is, the observations are not classified into groups. And from this ungrouped data, we cannot conclude anything. Let us see an example for ungrouped data. For example, daily wages of 20 workers given as follows. Yeah, these are the daily wages of 20 workers: 485, 525, 480, 475, 510. All these are given in rupees. So this is an ungrouped data, that is raw data. This data shows that the workers are earning around 500 rupees per day. That's all. And we cannot make any conclusions. And now, grouped data. So in grouped data, these observations are organized in groups, like this one. And the wages of workers in this example are classified into groups. That is 470 to 480, 480 to 490, 490 to 500, 500 to 510, 510 to 520, 520 to 530. Now we allocate these observation into these classes. While allocating frequencies to each class interval, if an observation equal to any upper class boundary, it would be considered in the next class. That is, if we take 480 and we have to allocate this 480 into the class which is in its lower boundary, that is 480. Okay, that is, we have to allocate 480 in the class 480 to 490. Okay, so let us classify this data into these groups. So first 485. So 470 to 480. And in 470 to 480, how many values are there? The 475 and this 475, and there are two values. So between 470 to 480, there are two values, and let us count the values from 480 to below 490. So there is 485, 480, and again 480 and 490 to take in next class. And so that is, there are three values. And now take the values between values from 490 to below 500. So where are the first one is 495, and second one is 490, and 495, and one more 495 is there. So there are four values in this category. And now the values from 500 to 510. So first one is 505, and second one is 500. So there are two values. And between 510 to 520, that is, first one is 500, second one 515, and now third one is also 510, fourth one is 515, fifth one is also 515. So there are five values. Okay. And now the remaining are, that is 525, one more 520, 520, and 525. So there are four values, four observations in this class. So we, like this, we classified the given data into groups. Okay. Now we can easily understand the nature of data. So group data is easier to work with when a large amount of data is present. Okay, students. Now let us see what is frequency. Frequency is the number of times a particular observation occurs in data. That is, the value comes how many times. Okay. And the ranges are called class intervals. Okay. So there is 470 to 480, 480 to 480, 490 to 500. These are called class intervals. And the width of a class is called class interval. That is, class interval is equal to upper limit minus lower limit. Okay. So now let us see how to find the arithmetic mean, which is the first central tendency. Okay. So mean. So mean, commonly referred to as the average, is the sum of all the observations divided by the number of observations. Okay. For example, a manager at a small movie theater was analyzing the number of people who came to the movies during the week. Over 9 days, he found the following data: 81, 89, 92, 85, 93. These are the numbers of people who came to the movie theater in 9 days. Okay. So now mean of these given observations is equal to sum of observations by number of observations. That is, sum of all these values: 81, 80, 81 plus 89 plus 92 plus 85 plus 93 plus 62 plus 85 plus 105 plus 90 by, and the number of observations is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So that is sum of observations by number of observations, and the sum of observations is 782. Sorry. And the sum of observations is 782, and the number of observations is 9, and 782 by 9 is equal to 86.8. That is, the mean of the given ungrouped data is 886.8. That is, average by average, daily 86.8 people are coming to theater to watch the movies. Okay. So let us see one more example. So in Test cricket, number of centuries made by Virat Kohli during the period from 2012 to 2019, that is year-wise, are as follows: 3, 2, 4, 2, 4, 5, 5, and 2. These are the number of centuries made by Virat Kohli in Test cricket year-wise. So now mean of given observations is equal to, as we have know, sum of observations by number of observations. This one is equal to 3 plus 2 plus 4 plus 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 5 plus 2 by 8. So in this we have 1 3, 3 2s, 2 4s, and 2 5s. So now we can write it as 1 into 3, 3 into 2, 2 into 4 plus 2 into 5, because there are 1 3, 3 2s, and 2 4s, and 2 5s. And this 8 is equal to 1 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2. That is the number of observations that I have occurred. So this one is equal to 27 by 8. So similarly, let x1, x2, x3 up to xn be observations with respective frequencies f. Here x1, x2, x3, xn are observations with respective frequencies f1, f2, f3 up to fn. Then the mean of given observations is f1 into x1 plus f2 into x2 plus f3 into x3 up to fn into xn by sum of the observations, that is f1 plus f2 plus f3 up to fn. That is x1 times x1 comes f1 times, and x2 comes f2 times, x3 comes f3 times, like that. As we can see in this example, 3 comes 1 time, 2 comes 3 times, 4 comes 2 times, and 5 comes 2 times. Like this, x1 comes f1 times, x2 comes f2 times, x3 comes f3 times. Then we can take the mean as like this. So we write this one as the sum of fi xi's, that is sigma fi xi by sigma fi. Okay, that is we have to take the values of I from 1 to n, where then n is the number of observations. Okay, so the mean of observations can be written as sigma fi xi by sigma fi. So this is the way to find the mean of ungrouped data. Okay, so now let's see methods to find mean of grouped data. So it is very important. So watch carefully. So there are 3 methods to find the mean of grouped data. And the first one is direct method. Second one is assumed mean method. And third one is step deviation method. So let us learn what are these methods. Okay. So first take the direct method. So take the example as we had taken earlier related to daily wages of labor. In that example, we classified the data into groups. So take that table like this. So here we have daily wages of workers 470 to 480, 480 to 490, 490 to 500, 500 to 510, 510 to 520, 520 to 530. And the number of workers in this range are 2, and in this range is 3, and in the range is 4, like that. So now we are learning direct method to find the mean of this group data. So first take this data into vertical form like this. Okay. So take the data into vertical form and take one more column regarding to class marks. And what is class mark? Class mark is upper class limit plus lower class limit by number of observations. So that is class mark is mid value of this class. Okay. So the class mark of 470 to 480 is equal to the upper class is 480 and the lower class is 470. So that we get 950 by 2, which is equal to 475. So the class mark of the class 470 to 480 is 475. So sometimes we call class mark as mid value also. Okay. So mid values and class marks are same. So take the class marks of all the classes like this. So the class mark of 480 to 490 is the mid value 485 and the mid value of 490 to 500 is 495. The mid value of 500 to 510 is 505 and similarly 515, 520. And now take one more column Fi into Xi. That is the products of Fi and Xi. That is 2 into 475 is 950. 3 into 485 is 1455. 4 into 495 is 1980. 2 into 105 is 1010. 5 into 115 is 2575. 4 into 525 is 2100. Now, the sum of these Fi's, that is, we denote it with by sigma Fi is equal to 20. 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 2 plus 5 plus 4 is 20. And the sum of all these Fi Xi's is denoted by sigma Fi Xi, which is equal to 10,070. That is the sum of all these Fi Xi's. And now mean of this given data is equal to sigma Fi Xi by sigma Fi. This is the formula to find the mean of data in direct method. Now the sigma Fi Xi is 10,070 and sigma Fi is 20. So by simplifying it, we get 503.50. So the mean of daily wage of workers is 503 rupees 50 paise. So this is the way of find mean of in direct method. Okay. So the formula to find the mean in direct method is sigma Fi Xi by sigma Fi. Let us see the second method, assumed mean method. Okay, assumed mean method. So in this method also we have to take the first three columns as direct method, and the third column that we have to take is deviations. And what are deviations? So in deviation, first we take one class mark as the mean, that is our assumption. So generally we take the mid value, middle one in this class marks as the mean that we have, that we are taking assumption. So let us take the 495 as assumed mean. Okay. So here we are taking 495 as assumed mean. That is where our assumption is 495 is the mean of this data. And now in this column, we take the deviations of these class marks from our assumed mean, that is Xi minus A. So in first one, 475 minus 495, that is minus 20. And in second one, 485 minus 495, that is minus 10. And third one is 495 minus 495, which is equal to 0. And now 505 minus 495 is equal to 10. Now 515 minus 495 is equal to 20. 525 minus 495 is equal to 30. In this way, we take the values of DI, that are deviations from assumed mean. And now we take the column that is Fi di, Fi into di. That is 2 into minus 20, minus 40, 3 into minus 10, minus 30, 4 into 0 equal to 0, 2 tens are 20, 5 20s are 100, and 4 30s are 120. So in assumed mean methods, we have 5 columns. And now find sum of all these FIDIs. And we denote the sum of all these FIDIs by sigma FIDI, and which is equal to 170. 120 plus 100, 220 plus 20, 240 minus 40 is 200, 200 minus 30 is 170. Now, the formula to find the mean in this assumed mean method is A plus sigma Fi di by sigma Fi. Okay, so now substitute the values in this one. That is where A is the assumed mean, sigma Fi di is the sum of all Fi dis, and sigma Fi is the number of all observations, that is 20. So 495 plus 170 by 20, and 170 by 20 is 8.5, which is equal to 503.5, which is equal to a previous mean that we have find in direct method. Okay, so the main daily wages of workers is 503 rupees 50 paise. And we know that there is one more method to find the mean, which is step deviation method. Okay, students. And in this step deviation method, we take the 4 columns as usual, like in assumed mean method. And the 5th column, we take ui. And ui is equal to xi minus a by h, where h is the class interval, that is upper limit minus lower limit, 480 minus 470, which is equal to 10. So now we have to take the all values of here ui is equal to xi minus a by h, that is minus 20 by 10, minus 10 by 10, 0 by 10, 10 by 10, 20 by 10, 30 by 10. So minus 20 by 10 is minus 2, minus 10 by 10 is minus 1, 0 by 10 is 0, 10 by 10 is 1, 20 by 10 is 2, and 30 by 10 is 3. Okay, so values of ui in this way we have to take. And now one more column regarding to fi into ui. So 2 into minus 2 is minus 4, 3 into minus 1 is minus 3. Like that, we get all these values. So now, the sum of all these values FIUI is denoted by sigma FIUI, which is equal to 70. Now, mean of given data is A plus sigma FIUI by sigma FI into H. Okay, where H is the class interval. This is the formula to find mean in step deviation method. Now substitute all the values. From that we get 503.5. So the mean of daily wages of workers is 503 rupees 50 paise. And students, we can observe that in direct method, it is very tedious to find the products. So when the data is with the big values, then we have to select either assumed mean method or step deviation method. So these two methods are so easy to find the mean when the values in given data are very high. Okay. So while finding the mean in these two methods, we can calculate easily the values. Okay. So students, these are the three methods to find the mean, and in next class we are going to start um, problems in exercise related to uh, mean, that is arithmetic mean. Okay. Until then, see you. Bye.